Bro, my ads aren't converting. Hey, calm down. It's okay. Your ads aren't converting. A lot of people are struggling with their ads right now. The good thing is you clicked on this video, and if you got the attention span to watch through the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to fix that. See, the number one reason people don't stay on your ads is because they scroll right past them and they keep watching the brain rot reels that they got on Instagram to watch in the first place. And so our job is to leverage what are called pattern interrupts to be able to keep them retained, make them watch all the way through our ad, and have a much higher likelihood of them actually purchasing your product, booking a call with you, or buying from the customer that you're doing marketing for. So this video is for you if you run an AI agency or you run an agency and you want to start implementing AI. I'm going to give you all the sauce so that you can copy and do exactly what I'm doing and make a bunch of money. And in the future, hopefully, if you use this information, you find it useful, you're going to want to partner with me and we can help scale your agency together. But let's dive in. I'm going to show you exactly how to create incredible pattern interrupts in your videos. So the first question we have to answer is, what is a pattern interrupt? And you probably have an idea, but it comes from the idea of a snap suggestion. So if you go up to someone and you snap in their face, generally the response is going to be something along the lines of, what the heck's going on? Like, why are you doing that? And the cool thing is, after a snap suggestion or some sort of pattern interrupt that is out of the ordinary, they're going to pay a lot more attention to the next 3 to 10 seconds of events that occur immediately after the pattern interrupt happens. Now, pattern interrupts are one of the main things you want to focus on in your ads, but there's actually the polar opposite. And these are the two things that are going to make ads that actually perform. So I'm going to show you what those look like. So the first one is obvious, right? It's standing out. How can I do something so out of the ordinary that this person does not expect it at all? And it kind of shocks them out of their scrolling trance. So an example of this is, let's say you have somebody in your ad and they're riding around on Heelys. I don't know if you ever had Heelys as a kid. I thought they were so cool. It's like, man, I'm such a badass. I'm gonna ride around with my wheels on my shoes in the mall. And maybe they're doing something else. They're holding like a little lighter or something weird, right? Something out of the ordinary. And what happens is when someone's scrolling on their phone and they see this person riding around with a lighter on shoes with wheels in them, they're gonna be like, what the heck? And that's gonna give you that 3 to 10 second range we talked about to be able to introduce your idea and either create a problem or offer a solution. And if it feels relevant enough, they're going to keep paying attention, and then you can go and you can hit them with a CTA and then drive them to your landing page. But funny enough, the other types of ads that perform extremely well are ones that are very intentional about blending in. And you're probably like, well, I don't want to blend in with everybody else. Wouldn't that be a bad thing? And in most cases, you would be right. But these are what we call native ads. So people are on Instagram and Facebook to be entertained, right? And so they want to watch non-ad content. So when people put up those Canva-y looking graphic ads that are like just so obviously an ad, people get banner blindness and they just scroll right past. But if we can start blending in, these can be some of our best performing ads. In fact, one of the ads that we've put the most budget behind is a roofing ad. And in that roofing ad, we have a guy, and he is just standing in front of a roof, and he's got his phone out, and he's taking a little selfie, right? And it's very personable, right? Looks like somebody that's just working their job that posted a selfie with a life update, and people stop and pay attention to it because it is native to their feed, and they like looking at other real people, right? They don't want to look at an ad. And funny enough, because this is so native to what that person is used to seeing on their feed, they are also going to stop to read the caption or watch the video for a minute to see what's going on and who this person is. And when they do that, same effect happens, right? If we can hook them with a problem or a solution or an offer, right? If they care enough about that problem, solution, or offer, we can then push to a CTA and then eventually to the landing page. And so when we have those very native looking ads, those perform extremely well. Another example of this is people will do these sort of raw style ads where they're sitting in their car or they're going for a walk. Those ads perform extremely well too because they feel more natural. Now, in terms of those native videos, the ones that you want to blend in, I want you to look at other organic posts in the niche, right? Are they posting a lot of selfie style? Are they posting in groups, right? Generally, they're going to be in front of things that are relevant, right? So for HVAC people, in front of HVAC stuff, for realtors, in front of homes, things like that. Those are a little bit simpler and it's also much more niche relevant. So what I want to talk about are the weird pattern interrupts, and I want to classify them into a couple of groups so you can pick and choose whichever ones you want to use within your ads and apply them instantly instead of just going in circles trying to come up with ideas that are going to grab people's attention. These are going to be proven ones that we've used in our top performing ads and we've pushed a ton of budget behind, and they're also going to be ones that work in just about any industry. So number one is going to be the OG one, right? And so this is where you reference something and then it's connected to an outcome. and they're generally not going to be related. So an example of this pattern interrupt would be like, this is an overpriced bottle of milk that I bought 2 days ago, and I'm going to show you how it made me $10,000 last week, right? That's an example of a weird pattern interrupt, right? An example of a pattern interrupt with this banana would be like, here are 3 counterintuitive ways that a banana can help you lose 10 pounds in the next month. What you're basically doing is taking something unrelated and applying it to an end outcome they want, and that connection creates curiosity, which makes them keep watching. This is one of the most original pattern interrupts that ever existed, but it's sort of a situation of the old thing is now very effective again because people stopped using it for a while, and now it's popular, and you'll see a lot of ads like this on Instagram and Facebook. The second one is what's called a visual pattern interrupt, and this one's awesome because it's one of the easiest to test. So if you've done a lot of ads, you know that the money is found in the winners, right? When you look at an overall ad campaign, you might put, $1,500 in and make $10,000 out, right? But the thing with ads is it's not like you put $1 in and then you make $10 out. It's you put, $1,000 in and you make zero off of those, but then you put 500 into these two winning ad sets, and then those ones make you the $10,000, right? Ads are weird that way. And so one of the things that people run into is they'll find a winner, and when you find a winner, you want to dump budget into that thing until it stops performing. But if it does stop performing, it's a frustrating situation to be in because you now have to go and search for a winner all over again. And so this pattern interrupt is super valuable because you can record the same thing, same concept, and just try different locations, right? So you already know it's a proven concept. It works in area A or setting A. Now let's just try that in area B and area C. And this way you can revive and refresh winners without having to come up with a whole new concept. One of my buddies, James, has actually used the same B2B ad for the realtor niche for over 2 years, and he just switches up the hook and then the location, and that's it. The body copy has stayed the same and it continues to perform extremely well. This is an example of where you can use a visual pattern interrupt, and by leveraging that, you can keep previous winners but make sure they perform like their fresh ads. Now, the third one is what's called an emotional pattern interrupt, and there are two things you want to leverage here. So, the first one is music, right? Music will change how people interpret something. So, if you're watching a sad movie, but you put happy music over it, try doing that. It's a funny exercise. The whole thing becomes a completely different experience. Same with like a scary movie, right? If you put like goofy music or like a rap song over an intense scene, it's no longer scary, even if the visual is. And so this is something not a lot of people actually really think about, but you should leverage music in your marketing, in your VSLs, in your reels, in your organic content, in your paid content, because it's going to change how people feel when they interpret your video. And that feeling is what they're going to remember. Another version of this emotional pattern interrupt is using an emotional story. An example of this would be, it had been 10 years since I saw my best friend, and what I didn't realize is I would never see them again. Right? That's an emotional hook. Now, one note here is that people will try and generalize it for a group of people. If it's a group of people, it becomes a statistic. You want it to be one person's story that's a lot more emotional for people. And another really important thing is do not reveal or close the loop on that story until the end, right? What a lot of people will do is they'll have this really good emotional hook, and then they'll be like, but don't worry, they're totally fine. We just moved to different countries or something like that. And it's like it resolves it and the person doesn't need to stick around, right? You want to save that outcome for the very end so that they have a reason to continue to consume. The fourth pattern interrupt is what's called a challenge. And what this is, for example, is saying, hey, this is a story most people won't take the time to read. Another example of this is 9 out of 10 people watching this won't be able to fully understand what I'm about to say, but for the 10% who do, their lives are going to change forever. When you create a challenge, people want to prove you wrong. And so if you say, hey, you're not going to watch this, or you're probably not going to understand this, they're going to try even harder to watch or understand the thing you present to them. The fifth pattern interrupt that works extremely well is a curiosity focused one. And this is going to be a question that make people extra curious. So it could be something along the lines like, can minerals in your water make someone have a higher IQ? It's just a very specific question, and it creates this open loop in your mind, and you want to figure out, I don't know, can it? And if you create this open loop properly, that will keep them engaged all the way through so they can get to the end of the story or the copywriting or the video to get the resolution at the end. And there you go. Those 5 pattern interrupts on their own will give you a huge spike in terms of how many people actually pay attention long enough to get the information you need to get across to find the people who actually are relevant and potential buyers for you. And if you apply those correctly, your CTR is going to go through the roof. You're going to start to get more qualified people because you're going to grab their attention. And sometimes the smallest tweaks like this give the biggest boost to your business as a whole. Now, if you found this interesting, go implement it. I'm gonna link two videos here. One's gonna be talking more about sales, one's gonna be talking more about marketing. So that way, if you're looking for more golden nuggets like this, you can get those in one of these two videos. Or if you just want hands-on help, you want me to help you with the implementation and make sure that your AI growth agency actually succeeds, you can come join my team. There's a link below. You can book a call to speak with me one-on-one and see if we're a good fit to work together. Best of luck, and I will see you guys in the next one. Cheers.